everyone. Welcome to another episode of Caffeine and Carrots with SmartKarrot. I'm Prithvi, and I'm very happy to have Amaro with me today. Amaro is based out of Netherlands and is a growth specialist, so very much aligned to what I'm very passionate about and what SmartKarrot stands for. He's been in the entire spectrum of sales, account management, negotiation, largely oriented towards growth. So, Amaro, welcome to Caffeine and Carrots, and I look forward to having this conversation with you.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here. Actually, I've seen some of your previous shows and podcasts, and you had quite good folks over there. I hope I will not disappoint you with this one.
Wonderful. No, absolutely. Thanks again for joining. So always good, Amaro, for us to get to know you a little bit from your journey so far. So it'd be great if you could start there. What do you do right now, and how did you get here over the years?
Yeah, I will try to cut it short. Otherwise, we could be here on the all afternoon. So I started in the corporate world actually as accounting and bookkeeper, but my passion has been always languages and people, and there on my first job I moved to the commercial part. Then I get a taste of it, and I had my own business. So I started my own business because I thought I was too clever and I knew it all. That business, so I was a textile agent. I was building the gap between brand owners and producers in Portugal, using my language skills and commercial skills, of course. But textiles world and clothing world is a very complex one, very globalized, so it shifts a lot between regions. So I had to close down that entrepreneurial journey, and I went back to the corporate world. And ever since, I've been in the petrochemical industry. That's when I moved to the Netherlands, and I've been always in commercial roles and finding new markets, finding new customers, increasing the portfolio, sometimes not really increasing, but increasing the revenue. It's not always about size. It's about qualification and so on. So therefore, I moved from corporate own business back to corporate. And along the way, I have as well my side gig, let's say it, because I do some training and some webinars and some sharing my knowledge and expertise on this field, and that's where I am. So currently, I'm still in the petrochemical industry, and there I have to handle complex customers, really complex customers, fast-pacing world. Very competitive, and therefore, as you said, I've been in all the spectrum. I used to say that in sales you have hunters and farmers, but the ideal world is to have both of these skills to handle a portfolio. Yeah, sorry if I've been too long.
No, you're perfectly fine. What really, and you and I spoke a couple of weeks back, and what I connected on very passionately with you is this overlap of end of day it's business growth. So whether it's sales, whether it's
absolutely
account management, whether it's customer success, whether it's a product company, whether it's a services company, whether it's a petrochemical company, end of day the business fundamentals are the same. And I think a lot of our speakers and a lot of people I connect with and interact either as a prospect, as a customer, or in events such as these are oriented around the SaaS world and the product world. So it's good to have a view coming in from a manufacturing sort of oriented organization and experience such as yourselves. And we spoke the other day, account management, call it client services, call it customer success, call it growth, fundamentals have to be in place. So
yep.
Your journey in the account management and the sales spectrum, how have you seen it change over the years? If you look at the last 7, 8, 10 years, and if you look at what it is now, what do you think has changed?
Definitely, there's one thing that we cannot neglect is technology. Technology is there. it's not a threat, it's not an enemy. We should use it to leverage our skills. But definitely technology helps a lot to do some work that used to be manual, and we see that in every field. Every work that has been routinely and that is very without intelligent tasks whatsoever in between, you can easily deploy it to technology, and that frees up time to do stuff where you really make a difference. So technology has been the biggest change that I've seen. Very different sorts of technology, of course, CRMs and but also platforms and social media platforms. Social media that at the beginning we thought, okay, this is just a nice thing for the public, but in the end, businesses also came in, and nowadays social media, be it even Instagram or TikTok, are sources of not only business themselves, but promoting businesses and advertising. So you've seen that advertising, for instance, changed a lot. And also on LinkedIn, you see that it really leverages a lot and facilitates a lot the lives of people when it's about, and we're talking about growth. When you speak about growth, and when you have to do a prospecting exercise or build up your pipeline, you cannot go without taking a look at LinkedIn, what it can offer and how can you exploit it. So technology definitely has been the biggest change, but also you have to look from both angles, not only from the sellers, but also from the buyers. The buyers now, they have information. In the past, sellers would know everything, so we'd go with information and prospects, etc. In nowadays, the buyers, they have all the information, and they know that they cannot be fooled easily, or they cannot be misled, because they have access to information as well. So the way that you interact with buyers is slightly different than in the past, where you used to inform them, where you used to update them, etc. In nowadays, they are informed, they are updated, and it's up to you to bring up other features, or what benefits does your product or service has, in order to take a stand at their company.
Yeah, no, I think a very good point on
so
the
two areas is technology and the way that the technology enhanced both sides, actually, buyers and sellers.
Yeah, both. I know, I agree with you. I think one point to add on to what you said, couldn't agree with you more, is so as the technology need has changed, Amaro, I think also there are more specialized technologies now. So I recall back, 10 years, 15 years back, when I was in sales and account management, and we didn't know anything beyond Salesforce and CRM. There is, it's just that, and that's about it. You just go and fill up your report, look at it from time to time. As a sales guy, you grumble, but you just go and, do what you have to do.
Yep.
And, executives are running reports off of it. Today, it's become more practical, I think. It's become a little bit, and obviously, I represent an adjacent technology to the CRM right now with SmartKarrot. But we do see a fitment with the needs being slightly more evolved for technology as well.
Absolutely.
So to your point, the seller now, they are more aware not only of the vendor cycle, but also about the different technologies which exist and what they could potentially do. And it's a mix of technologies also coming together. We are seeing a convergence, but maybe it's a discussion for a different time. I want to ask you. You have gone and implemented growth strategies for multiple organizations, including your current one.
Yep.
What is a good space to start, and what are some fundamental processes when you look at, here is my set of existing accounts? So the sales process has been discussed, debated. There are multiple theories, solutions, philosophies around how you want to go selling. That's fine. We close the deal. Now we are saying we need to grow the account over a period of time. For various reasons, but what are some fundamental processes you would definitely look at implementing as a starting point for growth in existing accounts?
Growth in existing accounts. It's you have to find their place in your portfolio. What are they? What what are they currently, and what do they represent? What is their potential?
Right.
Okay, so it's always you have to compare with regards to your best alternative. Okay, I have this customer here, and I have these 10 customers here. What differs between them? Okay, what is their potential, or what things do we struggle with them, or what are the hurdles? So you need to check if it's worth to invest your resources in that customer, in customer A instead of customer B. So I wouldn't go just growth. Let's grow at any cost. Don't do it. Grow is eventually, if you have, let's say, if you have a portfolio of 20, grow 10. Keep 10 on a spot basis that you leverage whenever you need to push or when you can reduce volume, and don't put all your efforts in all your accounts.
Got it.
I would immediately go to that. I have seen a lot of people investing in customers that in the end are small, didn't have growth potential, and very often small customers or they give you as much work as a big one. Or are as much demanding as a big one. So I would rather do an analysis. Where do you place them? So make a map. I have 10, 20 customers. Where do they place? Why do they buy from us? And what do they represent in our portfolio? If they indeed they have big potential. If you're positioned with this customer, let's say that they have 4 suppliers and you are the 4th supplier in there, so your position is very weak, but you know that they really have a big demand. It's worth to explore. Why don't we grow with them? Is it at the expense of our margins? Then you have to make your calculations. So for me, if I have to give you only one advice, is check the potential of the customer.
So you're saying, one, obviously get the right customers into the portfolio. So,
correct. Absolutely.
So, and your example is a good one. So you have let's say a 20 account portfolio, and, we need to obviously figure out which 10 or which 5 to focus on. How do you, what sort of, matrix do you look at? What do you look at to even narrow down a 20 to a 5? What are some examples?
Normally, what we do in those cases, so we don't discard let's say that we have 20. We never go to a situation to say let's just keep 5 and discard the other ones. No, we keep the 20, but then we keep 5 as a key accounts. Where we have contracts, we have a strategic relationship, etc. Those are the secure volumes. Those are the secure business. Then you have, let's say, 10 accounts where you have a good relationship, but where you don't invest as much as the 5. And then you have a tail of 5 customers that is spot, that is on and off. And all of them, they have value in your portfolio. Because then you can play according to the cycle of the business, because businesses are always cyclical. And then you can leverage when the business is down. Of course, you have the contracts that will always offtake, etc. That's fine. Then you are covered. But when the margins are on your favor, then you can just sell the minimum that you are obliged to with the contracts and use services with the other accounts that are in need.
Right. No, it's very consistent. So we see a lot of our customers. Some call it segmentation. Some call it account stratification, some call it account segregation, some call it focused accounts, some call it key accounts. So
the principle is the same. The principle is the same.
The principle is the
Create
same.
your bucket. That's clear. But when you ask me the key metrics, so one is really their size or their potential as the demand for a service or product. Then there's another important thing is their healthy situation. Healthy, I mean financial. Growth plans. And then also the complexity of handling this customer. Is this an easy customer to handle, or would you need to deploy instead of one FTE also a technical colleague, also a quality colleague, etc. Is it worth the investment? So those 3 or 4 elements.
And maybe I'll also add to the matrix you mentioned, also the competitive landscape, so.
Yes. I will always forget something because when we talk, we go we go a lot of places, but that definitely.
Yeah, so you look at, your growth potential of the customer, you look at obviously complexity, you look at how much you do a effort versus return sort of analysis, and then you look at the competitive landscape. Are you defending business against multiple competitors, or are you trying to win business against them, and all of those angles?
That seems and probably my fault, I forgot it, but that's very important. Sometimes it's better to give away a customer that is key for your competitor, so you don't mess up too much. That will be a struggle just to keep this customer and then deploy results to some other. But that's a great point indeed.
Right. No, it's wonderful. So now, if you obviously worked with a lot of sales profiles, you've worked with account management profiles. The fundamentals are the same, but there are slight differences also. I have seen and experienced someone who's very good at net new sales hunting is not that great at farming, because the mindset is different. You have to look at things differently. You must have the same, communication skills, negotiating skills, etc. And vice versa. You might be good at farming, but you're not necessarily good at, hunting. And I think I've also made this mistake over the years of trying to club both, together, and then, had my experiences and then segregated to two roles separately out. For a farmer, what skills do you think are foremost? What do you think is a must-have skill for somebody to be successful in account management farming role?
It's probably an empty concept, but I would say relationship building.
Yeah.
Of course, this means a lot of things.
Means a lot of things, yes.
But relationship building is key for farming.
Yeah. And do you, from a process standpoint, sort of track the growth of those relationships and in some shape or form? I know it's a difficult thing to do. It's a little abstract, but I do feel you have to do it, because otherwise, too much of abstraction, you can't, improve the process at all.
Correct. So normally in the corporate world, when we speak about farming, we really speak about those strategic relationships, strategic customers that we have, that we have contracts, or that we want to have contracts. Namely, the ones that we want to have long-term relationships. And indeed, it's very difficult to track the relationship. How good is the relationship? And you can tell me, and I told it sometimes to my management, the relationship is excellent, but the results are not there.
Yeah.
But that's about farming. So this is not hunting. You know that in these cases it may take 1 year. I remember I have a very good example, more than one, but a Belgian customer that we have lost to competition, and during 1 year, I kept visiting this customer. I kept calling them. I kept exchanging market update, etc. No sales. No sales.
Yeah.
But for me, it was really an investment.
Yeah.
It was really about, we are here. We know what's going on. We give you information. We give you updates. We give you an overview of the overall market. Our product is as good as competition. So let's try to get back on track. And after 1 year on the new cycle, then we get a new contract.
Yeah.
So farming, indeed, if you ask me, if you didn't have the contract, would you keep investing as much? Probably not. So as you said, we need to track this. At some point, you need to put to set a timeline. But farming has a much longer timeline than hunting. But you need to track it somehow.
Of course, it depends on your business and the business model. One thing, obviously, like you said, and we completely agree, that you need to gauge the results and check the results periodically to even gauge the quality and the effectiveness of that relationship. I mean, also a business relationship gets tested when there are tough times, So if the account is, you get tested then.
You nailed it, because very often whenever there's a force majeure or an issue in the market, then they call you. Yeah. And then you can be selective to those that have really played the game and those who didn't. That's really a good one.
It goes both ways, and and you have the account management or the sales pool always claim, I have great relationship with this customer. I'm saying, in that case, you should be able to influence some results, because otherwise that relationship has no value.
It's a very valid point, and another valid point that I must underline as well. It's sometimes returns are not only translated in sales, can be market intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they share a lot, if it's a good, there's a good two-way communication, that they give you information about what competition is doing, what innovations are out there, what they are up to, etc., etc. Then you can really feel that there's it's a two-way street. It's not me just putting information out there and putting investment on the relationship. And then you can still start feeling it. At some point, it will be translated in sales, and that's exactly how I sell myself. If you ask me, are you a good seller? No, I don't sell anything. I manage relationships.
Yeah.
And the result in the end, it's sales, but they happen naturally as a result of the relationship that we are building.
Yeah. And one thing I have noticed over the years is a successful farmer obviously manages the relationships very well. That is for sure, no doubt. So I completely agree with you. But also, he or she typically has a structured way of doing it. It's not, random. It's done with intent. It's done with passion. It's done genuinely. Not as, I just tick mark, I'll meet. It's not a meeting. I can have hundreds of meetings, but it may have nothing. But if I have 50 meetings, quality, and then I'll probably, so they have a structure to this, they have a frequency to this, they have some discipline to this, but there is also intent and belief, and you have to be honest about, that relationship, I guess.
No, absolutely. I can tell you that very often, when I visit my customers, let's say that it's a 2-hour meeting, probably 1.5 hours, we speak about everything and anything, about holidays and etc., etc., etc. And then the business topics come along, we tackle them, and then they move along as well. So it's really, as you said, it's not having just going for a meeting just for a meeting. Sometimes it's just going there for lunch, and it eases and it opens up the customer.
Yeah. No, wonderful. I think how would you want to summarize this conversation if you were to look at the changing landscape, the economic conditions right now? There is obviously a lot of focus on doing what you can with what you have. So the focus on the existing accounts is at the maximum currently right now, because new business is generally for most people slightly difficult and more long drawn out. So what advice and how do you see this panning out over the next couple of years as a summary?
Keep yourself updated. That's key. So it's selling or account management or whatsoever is not something that you reach a plateau and then you are there and then it's fine, I know everything. And you don't know everything. You lose deals, you won deals all your life, even if you are very good at. So technology is there, as we spoke in the beginning. So use technology, make yourself updated with what comes along. As you said, technology is not just 1.0. Every day there's more and more technology that merges and adds up to features that we didn't have previously. So get yourself updated. And get yourself also updated in terms of soft skills. Like you said, most companies have hunters and farmers. Many companies merge them, try to have a little bit of both skills when possible. You will always have more than one than the other, but having at least knowing a little bit from both of them is key to thrive in this role.
No, wonderful. Amaro, we are almost out of time. It's great talking to you. I think we should continue the dialogue. You have a good rest of your vacation. I know you're on vacation. We pulled you out to have this conversation.
No, because when it's about talking about sales and negotiation and account management, there I am.
It's very nice talking to you. Wonderful. Take care and all the best.
Thank you. My pleasure. And anytime that you want another session for another topic.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.